What's up guys, Killen here, and this is the third of 6 videos in my OP1 Performance Function Series, where I'm showing you tips, hacks, and making tracks on the OP1. I'm so happy to be showing you guys this beat. It's probably my bleepy bloopiest one yet. I use the finger function almost exclusively on this track. I used it for most of the drums, the weird rhythm line, as well as the bleepy bloopy kind of stuff. This track has already been composed, but I'll start a few things from scratch and show you the ins and outs of the finger function, which I will definitely be using more often after making this track. To start with, I sampled one of my own riffs into the OP1. And from that, I ended up with this. It sounds like it was really difficult for me to get from here to there, but the thing that I lucked out on is that there's already a few presets that are saved in the finger function, and I just happened to choose this one and came up with the riff.
I got lucky, man.
So before starting a pattern from scratch, I suggest that you guys do the same thing. Just go through each of the presets within finger, and you might stumble on something that you're really into. But if you'd rather start from scratch, this is how you do it. So to start with, shift far right button here. So we'll choose a slot here and we'll erase everything. So to do that, you press shift and then scroll with the blue knob. If you want to add or take away 16th notes from the pattern, you could do that by twisting the white knob. But for now, we're going to stick to 16/16th notes. If you're using a sample like mine, I think your best bet is to just fool around with notes until you come up with something that you're happy with. Okay, cool, I like that. So let's include that as the main riff. We'll record it onto track 2. Track 1 I like to leave for drums. I might affect it as well, we'll see. Okay, next let's hit the drums, and same thing, we're going to record it with the finger function. You could choose your favorite kit. I'm actually going to use my own LK Kit 1, which is available for free, by the way.
Link in description.
This is the same preset that I used on the sample, so this is what that sounds like with this drum kit. It's that ching that I don't like, the ching. Let's take that out of there. So I'm going to go up to that note, press shift, scroll over the note. It's gone. So let's change it for another note. Choose that one. I'm also going to change this last clave. I'm not super into that one. So I'm going to add hi-hats there. So I'm going to go back, audition a sound. These are my hi-hats. That's what I'm going to add. Let's try that. I'm happy with this as a starting point, but we're definitely going to have to layer a few more drums over top of this. So let's go to track 1 and record that. Let's find a snare now to add as a backbeat over this. Okay, so we have a really nice punchy snare pattern. Let's program that into finger. I actually want this pattern to be a bit longer so I could add some variation. So once again, twist the white knob to add some extra 16th notes, and you could add up to 32 of them. So my snare is this note here. Let's go to this pattern. Pattern is on D, snare is on G. Shift, scroll. Another thing to notice is that I'm splitting up the drums. So my first set of drums is on track 1, and my second set of drums is on track 3. This way I have more variation. The next thing I want to add on track 3 is hi-hats. This is one downfall of the finger functions, that you can only program up to 16th notes. If you want that really cool glitchy like hyper fast hi-hat thing, you'd have to go to the endless function. Before we do this, if you want to know more about the endless function, there's actually another video in my series. I'll link it up top.
Here, I'm not sure which side, and also in the description.
So just make sure you're set to 30-second notes. Literally, for this beat, just start programming random notes. As long as you program 32 of them, you're good to go. Now that you've got that done, hold shift and make sure that you're on the random function, this one here. This is really cool now because every time that you play this hi-hat pattern, it'll be something different because it's just random. I love that. I love how much energy it adds to the beat. It's super cool. For the bass line, I'm
Basically,
gonna copy paste it from my other beat. So I'll solo the bass line. This is what it sounds like. To be honest, I can't remember which bass preset I used for that. Let me just find it for you. I think it was Res Bass.
Hours later.
Anyways, I can't find it, so you'll have to find your own bass tone. To copy paste the bass line from the original beat, I'm gonna go to that loop, hit the lift button here. Make sure that you paste it before pasting it a second time, so I'll paste it back like that. Then I'll head over to my other beat, make sure I'm in the right loop. Okay, so I know I'm there, and I'll copy it again. And I'm on an empty track here, I'm on track 4. And that's that. After bass was completed, I moved on to those bleepy bloopy melodies, which were really interesting. For this sound, I scrolled down to FM squared. I added the cow effect on it as well. I'm gonna tweak that right now. I also went up the octave. I decreased the attack. There we go. There's also already an LFO on it, so I didn't change that. I just turned the green knob down and it seemed to have this sort of cutoff effect. So it's a lot softer now, and then I went to the tape and brought the volume way down. Okay, great. So now that we have our sound, let's check out the notes that we could play. So we're in the key of E major. I stuck to the E major pentatonic scale. In order for these two melodies to play at the same time, you have to make sure that it says join in the middle there. So if you want to go to replace melody, you shift to the left, and now this melody will be replaced by that one, and vice versa. You'll notice that pattern A doesn't get replaced until the whole pattern's finished, then it replaces to pattern B. A cool little thing that I did with these melodies on the original track is I actually took off a 16th note on one of them, as you can see here. This creates a really cool melodic effect because now both melodies are constantly bouncing off each other in different ways. Those are the two melodies that I used in the original. Let's make up our own melody now. Another thing I should mention is that if you want to play 2 notes in 1 16th note slots, you have the option to do that. All you have to do is press shift over 1 slot and then press 2 notes at the same time. Now that we have those 2 melodic patterns, let's do the same thing we did in the original beat. Let's take off the last 16th note of one of the patterns and see how they interact.
Cool.
A couple other quick things to mention. Firstly, if you want your pattern to be behind the beat, you just twist the green knob. And if you want it to be ahead of the beat, you twist it the other way. So if you want it to be straight down the middle, you just bring it back to the middle. If you want to free up your hands to do other things, you just twist the red knob for the hold option to come up. You play your pattern, and then when you twist it back, the pattern stops. And that's how the track was made. Hopefully this video inspires you to use the finger function in your own tracks. Before making the track for this video, I actually rarely used the finger function, so I'm kind of glad that I did, and I'm looking forward to using it again. I really like making videos for you guys, so thanks a lot for watching. Maybe drop a like, or maybe a subscribe, I don't know. You know, as they say, just
Smash that subscribe button.
these past few weeks, you guys have really been showing interest in my content, so keep it coming. It just makes me want to create more. If you want to know what else I'm up to, check me out on Instagram. And if you want to hear my music, my SoundCloud is in the description below. Also, just a reminder that this is one of 6 videos of my OP1 Performance Function Series, so keep your eye out for the other ones. They're floating around out there. Peace.